in Japan, it's very important that you keep your word. I mean, it's true everywhere. It's a little wrong to say in Japan. It's true everywhere. But in Japan in particular, and in the regions in Japan in particular, it's very important to to make promises and to keep them, like to get involved and to keep your engagements. That's the first thing. Be reliable. Japanese companies are looking for reliable partners. That's a general rule. It doesn't mean it's going to be always the case, but as a rule of thumb, I think it's pretty.
They want
true.
to know that if you're offering something to them today, you can still offer this in 5 years or in 10 years.
Yes, that's very true. Yes, the long term is also very important. When you get in a relationship with a Japanese company, it's a long-term relationship. I mean, at least that's what they're going to want. Compared to other countries where it's more like, okay, today this has more advantage for us, but if tomorrow a better offer comes, we're going to shift without ever looking back. In Japan, it's not the case. And you have the two sides of the coin, right? It means once you have a good relationship going, you're pretty good, okay? Like this relationship, if you don't mess, you're going to keep it for long. But if you mess up, you're dead for them.
There's no coming back.
Yeah, it's very hard, or at least it's very hard to come back from if you didn't deliver. I mean, depends how much you messed up, but if you didn't deliver on a promise, this will not be taken lightly. And you can lose a relationship forever for very, I wouldn't say small details. Well, not that, but
if you don't deliver a shipment that they are asking for, that you sign a contract if you're late, then
for instance, if you're and that's also why in the building of the relationship, in the early days of the relationship, and it's going to be true after, but it's even more important for the first impression. The small stuff are really important. Like, I know this, like everybody, we've heard it 100 times, but it's still very true. Don't come late to an appointment. Like French people, if we're late like 10, 15 minutes, we can always like excuse ourselves. I'm sorry, I was called up in a meeting, blah, blah, blah. It's kind of okay. It's kind of accepted. It's never going to work in Japan. If you do this, people are going to smile and say, okay, I understand. But still, inside, they're going to think, okay, that person is not reliable. And probably you just from the start, you just missed your opportunity to do business with them, probably. So that's where my experience in Japanese company was very useful. Is you're trained like this when you're in a Japanese company. When you have an appointment, you are there 10 minutes early and you wait next to the door. And when it's 5 minutes before, you knock and you enter. And there's the whole ritual, you know, how to behave, like to call the right person, to how to give your business card, what to say, how to start the meeting. Okay. All this is rather important. That's also actually what the French Chamber of Commerce can help foreign companies with, because all this, we know it, we know how it works. That's also why I got the job, by the way, because not only do I speak Japanese, but with that experience, I know how to deal with Japanese companies, or I would say more importantly, with the Japanese institutions like the city office, or they feel comfortable because they realize that I know how to behave. So everything can go smoothly, and they know they can, at least from the start, they think, oh, probably I will be able to trust that person because already he knows how to behave. Then you need to build the trust through the actual delivery contract and so on. But it is also very important to be rather aware of how to behave with your Japanese interlocutors. Of course, if some people tell me, yeah, but if you're a foreigner, you cannot have the gaijin pass, the foreigner pass, because The Japanese will know you're not a Japanese, so they will excuse you if you're not perfect. That's true to a certain extent. That's true if they don't think your behavior is your behavior makes you unreliable. So that's true, but if you come 15 minutes late to a meeting, they think you're not reliable.
And this has nothing to do with you being a foreigner or not.
Yes,
it's just you're not a reliable
It's
person.
just you're not reliable. Or if you don't deliver, or if, I don't know. Also, it's not only a question of reliability. It's a question of, okay, in Japan and in Japanese language, a lot of things are said without being said out loud, right? You're probably familiar with this, but it has to do a little with what they call inshin denshin, this kind of telepathic. I don't really. It's not really telepathic, okay, but it's just you have to feel what your partner wants to deliver as a message, what message they want to deliver, because not everything is going to be said out loud, but they're going to imply it, and it's your job to catch the ball and to understand the meaning that they really want to say. One of the most obvious is Japanese people have a hard time to say no. If we don't agree to something, we will very easily say, no, I'm not interested. I'm sorry, I'm not interested. It's okay. In Japan, it's hard to say no. So most of the time, people won't say no. But when they don't want, there are ways in Japanese to say no, and that cannot really be mistaken.
It seems difficult. 難しいね.
Yes. But it's not only a question of words. It's also a question of like intonation, or sometimes it can be through an email, where they say, okay, this proposition is very interesting, but, and so on, and so on, and so on. And as a French, we tend to think, okay, but they leave the door open or something. No, this is, you have to understand, this is no. And you need to know when it's no or when you can still push. Those little nuances are really hard to catch if you don't know Japanese culture. So not only language, but culture and business culture.